Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about staying in touch with the outside world as an expat. A lot of guys like to close themselves off from the world. And I'm not one that really likes to close myself off too much from the world. I like to know what's going on, especially as a vlogger. You know, I like to know what's going on in the outside world. But one of the things I notice is that a lot of times over here, I miss being in tune with the world. You know, I miss catching up with things. We have other people here. I think Justin's one of them. He doesn't like to really be up with the world, you know, and I saw a couple of the other expats are like that too. And I understand it. I get that. I do like to be kind of in touch with the world, at least know some of the things that are going on out there. It might not be news. It might just actually be stories. And I want to talk about this today because as entertainment, sometimes I like to listen to some of the old shows out there. And I go onto the podcast section as one of the apps in my iPhone, and I listen to the old shows like Art Bell and a lot of these other shows out there, because those are really, really good shows to listen to. There's a lot of different shows out there. You can listen to the old Rush Limbaugh if that's what you like. You can listen to Sean Hannity. There's Fox has a lot of things on there. There's those Duck Dynasty guys are on there. There's a whole bunch of shows on there if that's what you like. Whether you're a liberal, a conservative, or a moderate, there's tons of stuff on it. There's Dan Benigno. There's a whole bunch of things on it. You can download all these different podcasts or just listen to them off there without downloading them. And it's kind of nice to be able to listen to those. And I wanted to put you guys onto those because, you know what, sometimes you can listen to them in your earbuds while you're walking along, or you can get one of those one-piece earbuds. And those are nice because you can go walking and you can listen to like a podcast or something like that. There's also like podcasts like Dateline and 2020, so you can listen to those shows versus actually seeing them. It's kind of nice seeing them, but you can also download some of those. I forget which ones are on there, but I know some of those are on there. So it's kind of interesting that they have those on there. But it's great. It's great having those shows because you can look up almost any show and you can find all these old shows on there. And you can go back and you can relive some of those shows that, you know, you may have missed. Maybe you listened to them when you were back in the States or whatever. Maybe you want to try to, you know, listen to some new stuff. There's stuff on it that's pretty interesting. I like Art Bell. He always had an interesting show about different things. It was always kind of cool, some of the stuff that he had on there. You know, even whether it's kind of conspiracy theory or stuff that you're not sure about. He always had some interesting take on it and some interesting callers calling in and stuff and talking about Area 51 or any of that stuff. It's kind of cool. You know, and he was talking about the Bigfoot and UFOs. I kind of am interested in UFOs and things like that because I'm almost positive they exist, you know, because, you know, even the United States Navy now is saying, hey, they're there. There's something out there. We don't know what it is, but they're there. You know, when they were following those airplanes off of San Diego or wherever it was. I mean, it's quite interesting. It's fascinating. And there's a lot of shows also on Netflix that'll keep you interested too. There's documentaries. There's the old World War II movies that you can get on there. And some of the newer ones too. And you can watch all those movies too. Between Netflix and the podcast, that kind of keeps me going over here when I'm kind of bored or just sitting around. Or I'm hurting that day. It keeps my mind off my pain, you know, from the sciatica. But, you know, it's definitely a plus having those things over here. And having that technology has helped me over here. And I think it helps expats. I mean, since we've had iPhones and smartphones and stuff like that, I mean, face it, we can do almost anything on our phone. Who would have imagined that we would be where we are today with the phones that we have today and the iPads that we have and the computers that we have and the knowledge that we can download? You almost don't even need an education anymore because you can educate yourself online at almost any given moment on almost any given subject just by going to YouTube. And that's another thing over here is a lot of guys, when they have a problem, they don't look at YouTube as an asset. And over here, my therapist, and I learned this also off my foster daughter, Kiki, back home. Kiki helped me with this originally because one time I saw her doing something I was always wondering how she became so knowledgeable with computers and stuff, because here was the girl in high school, and she knew everything. She's a really smart kid. Kiki would be, you'd ask her something about a computer. Can you fix this here? And she's like, yeah. She'd go in the other room for a few minutes, come back out. And I was wondering, how the heck did you do that? She goes, oh, Steve, I went on YouTube. That's how I found out. I was like really grateful that she was able to teach me that YouTube is such an asset. But I found that also from other people, even over here. I keep getting reminded, and then sometimes I have to remind myself that YouTube is a huge asset. Susan the other day, my therapist, had told me she was going on there to find out exercises for me. And she came over to the house and was teaching me those exercises for sciatica. And it's actually helped me out somewhat. I'm in pain a little bit after I do the exercises, but that's part of exercising. You get those things flowing, and after a while the pain goes away and you feel a little bit better each time. And I'm thankful that I have YouTube, and I have people out there that keep reminding me of stuff like that. And even me, who's pretty knowledgeable about stuff, for the most part, I'm not Mr. Know-It-All for sure. Even I need a reminder sometimes about some things. And when I do get reminded about these things, I try to remind you guys too. I think we all need a reminder every once in a while. It's just something that we all need as we age. I notice the more I age, the more I forget. And, especially with things like that. The simple things, like YouTube. Imagine, forgetting about YouTube. But I do, even being a YouTuber myself, I forget to use YouTube. And I've lately been going on there to look up sciatic things, sciatic relief, things like that. And also medical relief for things when I have a problem with something. I go on there. Also for herbs. I try to find out about herbs in there and stuff. It's kind of cool that we have all that knowledge online. But anyway, guys, I just want to say that, be aware of things out there. Check out podcasts. Check out some of the iTunes and Netflix and things like that. God bless, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show.